ABC5 News at 10. Breaking news. Police tonight arrest Xavier Tate Jr. for the murder of Chicago police officer Luis Huesca.
Team coverage of the NBC5 News at 10 starts now. It is a busy night at 10 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Stephen Holt.
And I'm Allison Rosati. Breaking tonight, the manhunt is over following the murder of Officer Luis Huesca. Authorities this evening captured 22-year-old Xavier Tate Jr., who is charged with killing Officer Huesca.
This is a long-standing police tradition. Sources tell NBC5 authorities used Officer Huesca's handcuffs when they took Tate into custody tonight.
He was captured tonight in Glendale Heights, and we are learning more details about how this all went down. Let's get right to Alex Maragos to walk us through everything that we are learning tonight. Alex?
Allison, Stephen, it was 10 days on the run for Xavier Tate. Now, one of the most wanted men in Illinois was found tonight in an apartment complex in Glendale Heights, and law enforcement sources tell NBC5 that Homeland Security, U.S. Marshals, and CPD all worked to bring the accused cop killer into custody. Now, sources sent us multiple pictures taken shortly after the arrest. Tate was considered armed and dangerous, but we're told he was taken into custody without incident at the Ellen Crossing Apartments, and that law enforcement had been watching Tate. We do not know for how long. Now, a $100,000 reward had been offered for information leading to the 22-year-old's arrest. We do not know if police were tipped off to his location, but let's show you how we got to this point. So, Chicago police officer Luis Huesca was killed outside of his home in Gage Park the early morning hours of April 21st. His gun and car were stolen. It was 5 days later that police found that gun in Morgan Park, near the home of Xavier Tate's associate, Cassius Tate. Then it was just this evening, police closed in on Xavier Tate in Glendale Heights. Two sources tell NBC5 that Tate may have spent time in Iowa, then came back to Illinois. We also had heard that he had ties to other cities in Illinois. Don't know if he spent time there. Officer Huesca was just 30 years old. He was just laid to rest on Monday, and we heard from his family that day saying their anguish was compounded by the lack of answers and justice in his death. Now, with tonight's arrest, they now have a path to some closure, but still no answer to the biggest question. That is why Huesca was shot in front of his home just as he was finishing his shift early that Saturday morning. Now, Tate is scheduled to appear in court at 11:30 tomorrow morning for his first hearing. We will be there and bring you the latest developments. Allison and Stephen.
Okay, that timeline important. All the different locations where they found the weapon, where they found him tonight. We appreciate you breaking that down for us.
10 long days.
Thank you, Alex.
And as we have been reporting, multiple law enforcement agencies involved that took Xavier Tate into custody tonight in the western suburbs.
NBC5's Courtney Sisk live in Glendale Heights tonight where this arrest went down, and I'm sure a lot of neighbors surprised to see that huge law enforcement presence.
Hi, Stephen. Absolutely. There are a lot of people who are still watching the investigation unfold behind me. Again, this is at the Ellen Crossing apartment complex. This is where police say they found and took Tate into custody. Chicago police says it was their officers and the U.S. Marshal Regional Great Lakes Task Force that apprehended him today. Go ahead and take a look right now. It is this apartment complex right here that investigators seem to be looking at heavily in this area. We also see police tape, and the Chicago police now have their mobile command post out here during this investigation. This complex is about 35 miles away from where Tate is accused of shooting and killing Officer Luis Huesca outside of his Gage Park home. I just spoke with one of Huesca's family members over the phone. They confirmed they received the call from CPD today that Tate is in custody. It's unclear why he was here, who he was with. Cook County court records indicate that Tate lives in Aurora. I spoke with people who live here who knew about the search for Tate, but they never imagined that he would turn up right across the street.
When I went outside, I saw a bunch of police with just like a bunch of police officers over there in the area, and I was really shocked because I would have never expected it to happen here.
And it's just crazy because this is, we have families here, and you wouldn't have guessed or expected any of this craziness. It's just really scary to think that he was here the whole time.
Tony Award.
Again, out here in Glendale Heights, this is the Ellen Crossing apartment complex off of Gregory Avenue. We still have a lot of people who live in this area. I would say probably about 50 people out here watching this investigation unfold. Certainly a lot of questions that police have to investigate here to try and answer. Why was he here? Who was he with? And these are, of course, all things that we will be following throughout the evening and the days to come. We'll send it back to you for now.
Yes, we will. Courtney Sisk in Glendale Heights tonight. Thank you very much. And of course, we will continue to follow this. Stay with NBC5 News for continuing coverage of the arrest of suspect Xavier Tate and the murder of Chicago police officer Luis Huesca. We will be in bond court tomorrow, and we'll bring you updates as they happen on the air, online, and on the NBC Chicago app.
The man wanted for the murder of Chicago police officer Luis Huesca is in custody this morning.
Authorities found him in the suburbs last night. I want to go ahead and give you a look at how all of this got to this point. First off, of course, Chicago police officer Luis Huesca was tragically killed outside his home in Gage Park in the early morning hours of April 21st. Both his gun and his car were stolen. 5 days later, police found his gun in Morgan Park near the home of Cassius Tate, a man connected to Xavier Tate Jr.
Then last night, police closing in on Xavier Tate Jr. in Glendale Heights.
NBC5's Lisa Chavarria is live for us from Chicago Police Headquarters with more details on this arrest that the city has, of course, been anxiously waiting for. What can you tell us here this morning?
Most certainly, the city's been waiting for this, JC and Michelle. At this point, we're still working to find out exactly how police were able to find him at this apartment complex in Glendale Heights. Now, the question still remains who he may have been staying with. We're still working to get those answers. But take a look at this. We have pictures of the suspect. This was given to us by sources shortly after Xavier Tate Jr. was arrested. We are told he was taken into custody using Officer Luis Huesca's handcuffs. Tate was on the run for 10 days. Chicago police say the U.S. Marshals Great Lakes Regional Fugitive Task Force helped capture him. Tate was considered armed and dangerous, but police tell us he was arrested without incident at the Ellen Crossing Apartments on Gregory Avenue. Again, this is in Glendale Heights. We are told police had been watching him there, but they didn't reveal how long they knew he was in the complex or if they were tipped off. Neighbors were stunned when they heard about the arrest.
Crazy, honestly, gives me a whole different perspective of where I live. It's just really scary to think that he was here the whole time.
Two sources tell NBC5 Tate may have spent some time in Iowa and then came back. We also know he had ties to other cities in Illinois. A $100,000 reward was being offered for information leading to the 22-year-old's arrest. But at this point, again, it is still unclear if police were tipped off. But we are expecting to learn much more as Xavier Tate Jr. is expected to appear in bond court at 11:30 this morning. This will be taking place over at the Cook County Criminal Courthouse. Reporting live from Chicago Police Headquarters.